Amazon's crazy new inventory placement fees are coming into effect on March the 1st, 2024, and here is everything that you need to know about them. So first off, guys, what exactly is inventory placement? So right now, if you log into Seller Central and you go to your FBA settings menu, there is this hidden little option which you can enable or disable called inventory placement. And what this feature does for a fee is that when you create an FBA shipment, it lets you send all of your items to one location. At 30 to 40 cents a unit, this is ridiculously expensive. It doesn't make sense for 99% of sellers to use. And for the last couple of years, I've highly recommended that people stay away from it. Now, the default option, if you're not using inventory placement, is something called distributed placement. And that's the standard FBA shipping option that we're all used to. There is no extra charge, but when you are creating a shipment, Amazon may or may not split it up into multiple locations. So what's going to be new? What's going to be different on March 1st? Well, Amazon thought it would be a very good idea to take that inventory placement system that no one uses and feed it a steady diet of steroids and crack cocaine. And because of that, creating FBA shipments is about to get very, very, very expensive. So here's the lowdown on how this is going to work. Amazon is going to move the inventory placement option from where it lives right now as a toggle in your settings menu, and instead they're going to shove it right in your face at the start of every shipment as you're creating it. So come March 1st, every time you make an FBA shipment, you will have the option to select whether you want no shipments, no split shipments, some split shipments, or lots and lots of split shipments. So let's talk about how much this is going to cost, because it's a lot. FBA shipments are going to be a lot more expensive. And if you don't like it, well, just get ready to ship to 4+ different locations every time you want to make an FBA shipment. And one way or another, we're all going to have to pay more. You either pay more in these inventory placement fees when you create a shipment, or you're going to pay more because your shipping is going to be a lot more expensive now that you have to ship to multiple warehouses all over the country instead of everything to one warehouse close by. Thanks, Amazon. So let me share my screen with you guys and let's break down what the actual fees and the options are and how everything works. Let's go. Amazon just rolled out this new little shipping calculator in Seller Central where you can enter an ASIN and play around with all of the different inbound fees and options associated with that item. So the first thing that you should know is that this is a per ASIN per unit fee. So different ASINs are going to have different costs, and the larger the items, the more expensive this fee is going to be. And buckle up, because this is not cheap. I mean, we're talking about upwards of like 40 cents per unit. So get ready, folks. The next thing that you should know is that there are 4 new placement options that you'll have to select from every time you make a new FBA shipment. So let's take a look at those. So here we have the minimal split option. And if you select this one, when you create a shipment, Amazon is basically, or when you create this shipment, Amazon will let you ship everything to one location, but this is obviously going to be the most expensive option. Want to ship everything to one single FC? Fuck you, pay me, is basically what Amazon is saying. All right, next we have the partial split option. And what's actually a little bit cool about this one, when you select it, you can actually enter your choice of whether you want to ship to 2 different locations or 3 different locations. It's a slightly cheaper option. It's still obviously very expensive. And if you want to ship to only 2 or 3 different fulfillment centers, once again, fuck you, pay me. All right, and then we have the Amazon optimized shipment splits. And I'm sorry, but this name is just so freaking ridiculous. Want to optimize your shipments and not pay any fees at all? That's fine. You're just going to have to ship to 4 different locations spread out across the country. And then lastly, in addition to selecting one of these 3 options for lots of splits, some splits, or no splits, you'll also be able to tell Amazon which part of the country you want to ship your stuff to. So you'll select one of the 3 options above, and then you'll select whether you want it going to the West Coast, the East Coast, or Central. And when you look at these options, You can see that shipping to a West Coast fulfillment center is typically going to cost a lot more expensive than shipping to the East Coast. All right, so let's do a little bit of math because this is going to have a huge impact on sellers. So I entered into the inbound calculator 5,000 units of a standard size ASIN so that we can get a rough idea on how much more this is all going to cost me. All right, but I want to give you guys a little bit of insight first. My personal business, located in New York and New Jersey. Most of what I'm shipping is pallets. We ship either full truckloads with my own carrier or I'm doing LTL shipments using Amazon's partnered carrier. Typically, if I had to send in 5,000 units standalone by itself, this is something that would typically cost me, I'm guessing, somewhere in the ballpark of like 500 bucks. Now, with the new fees, let's see how much it's going to cost me to ship everything to one location close to me. All right, so for that, we are talking about an extra charge of 27 cents per unit, or an extra 1,350 bucks for the shipment. And keep in mind, this is an extra charge. This is in addition to my shipping costs. So hello, 4 times shipping cost. Now, if I was located on the West Coast, it's even worse with a charge of 41 cents per unit, or an extra 2,050 bucks. But what if I felt a little stingy? What if I wanted to save some money and go for the partial split option? So here I can select 2 splits, and it's going to cost me an extra 21 cents or 1,050 bucks. And if I wanted to break this up into 3 split shipments, we can get that down to just the low price of 750 bucks additional, or just 15 cents a unit. Now, of course, there's always the free option with the crazy name, Amazon Optimized Shipments. And while this is free, sellers need to understand the huge implications here. I now have to split up one shipment, presumably one pallet, one shipping cost, into 4 separate smaller shipments. Are they going to split that 5,000 units into 4 equal quantities? Probably not. If I had one pallet before, do I now have to ship 4 different pallets? Do I have even enough merchandise of this item for 4 different pallets? What if they want me to take just 300 units out of the 5,000 and ship that across the country to Seattle? How much is that going to cost me? I can only guess. But my best guess is that the $500 estimate that I gave you earlier, that's probably at least $2,000 by now. And the funnest part, I'm shipping over 50,000 units per month. So that's what, an extra 14, 15,000 straight off the bottom line? Fucking thanks, Amazon. All right, guys. So to be honest with you, it's not that bad. I know I'm doing, a little bit of sarcasm and I'm fucking around, but if you take a deeper look into the numbers, they're not that bad. And by not that bad, what I mean is they're not terribly substantially worse than the usual 10 to 15% fee increase that Amazon hits us with pretty much every single year. The good news is there is actually a decrease in the regular FBA fees of about 20 cents to offset some of these crazy new inventory placement fees. So while they're clipping you here for 30, 40 cents, on the backside, you will save an additional 20 cents. So not terrible. The biggest issue here, in my opinion, that's going to be the added logistical costs and complexities that come with creating a bunch more shipments than what you're used to and dealing with all the extra shipping costs that you might have outside of these inbound fees. Now, if only there was a software out there that can help you with all of this. So clearly, I am biased because I am the creator of 2D Workflow, but I'm not only the president, I am also a client. I built 2D Workflow for this exact reason, to help me plan and optimize my FBA shipments and my workflows in my warehouse, to help me save money, to help me save time. And I am 100% confident that 2D Workflow is going to help Amazon sellers navigate these changes and save lots on some of these fees. All right, so we recently came out with a brand new feature called the 2D Workflow Shipment Optimizer. And while the name sounds similar to Amazon's, ours isn't designed to fuck you over. Ours is designed to actually help you. This new feature is going to help you create shipments and then optimize them by forcing all of your items into one location or as few locations as possible while avoiding these new placement fees. That's what the software does now. That's what we expect it to continue to do going forward. I know some people out there, they may call this a loophole, and it is. And Amazon may definitely one day put a stop to it. That definitely might happen. But keep in mind, Amazon has had loopholes like this wide open for years and years and years before ever closing them. And some, they still never close. So as long as this is compliant and as long as we can, we will, because why the fuck not? If you want to see exactly how the 2D Workflow Shipment Optimizer works, I'm going to put a link to it somewhere right over here. All right, guys, and in the meantime, before I go, let me tell you how you can get a free month of 2D Workflow software so that you can try the full software and the optimizer absolutely free. I am very proud of what we built with the software, and for me, it's pretty much a no-brainer to let new sellers try this for free. The vast majority of sellers who try this, they love it. They end up signing up and becoming paying users anyway. So again, it's an absolute no-brainer for me to give it away to you guys for free. I am positive that if you try it, you are gonna love it too. And if you don't, all good, cancel anytime, test it for a month, play around with it, it is all good. So to get your free 30-day trial, go to 2dworkflow.com/VIP30. I'm also gonna put a link to it somewhere over here. And in the meantime, folks, as always, when selling on Amazon, the key is adapt or die. That's exactly what we are going to do. Peace.